out in chat.
Hey everybody, Andrew Hawkrattle here. We're here with the Adobe Live team. It's going to be a great time today. We're doing a community boot camp all this week. If you haven't been tuning in, it's been great content, super fun conversations. But we are going to be talking a little bit about Adobe Live. And we don't just have me here, of course. We have most of, if not, there's like a good chunk of the Adobe Live team. So if you have questions in chat for anyone for the Adobe Live team, we want to be talking about where we're going. If you have questions, requests, anything for us, go ahead and drop it into chat. So I'm going to go ahead and intro some people. I'll have them intro themselves. And let's start out with, we're going kind of person by person here. You'll eventually get to meet the whole team. Let's start with our friends. Hi, Claire and Paco.
Hello. Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Do you guys want to intro yourselves and tell maybe a little bit about what you do on the Adobe Live team?
Yeah, definitely. I'll go first. So my name is Paco. Some of you all may know me as the person that's running a lot of the live streams behind the scenes. So always love coming on the show and showing my face and interacting with you all. So yeah, it's great to see you all and be hanging out with you. I'm excited about this.
Yes, and it's fun. Anytime I can get Paco to do some FaceTime, he's usually behind the scenes, lingering in the shadows. And so we love some Paco FaceTime. Claire, hi, hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claire. Probably seen me around in the chat. I run content operations for Adobe Live and help book talent and develop shows. So it's great to be on with Andrew because I work with Andrew a lot.
It's going to be fun. And eventually we'll be talking, Claire. I want to ask you about like what you look for in talent as we're bringing people on Adobe Live. So we'll come back to that. Let's continue on with our introductions. The one and only Gus Martin. Gus, hello.
Oh my gosh.
The Gus bot.
I get the one and only. Oh no, the pressure's on. The green light.
Hi, we're back. Welcome to the
Hi.
Friday chaos. That's how it works. All right, Gus. Go ahead, Gus, continue your intro. Say hello. Sorry for the technical difficulties there, everybody.
No worries. As part of my as being an AI and a bot, I actually crashed us just to pressure test the system. It's really nice to be here. For those of you that don't know, my name is Gus Martin, and I worked for a long time on the Adobe Live team in the chat as Gus bot. I also worked back in the day on the Twitch channel, which we're now streaming to more regularly these days. So I've just been around Adobe Live for a while, and I'm really excited to be here. I've been on the stream, but I think the last time I was on was at least a year ago. So be kind to me.
Yes, into the ringer.
Yeah.
We're throwing you in. All right, and last but not least, we have Annie with us. Hi, Annie.
Hi, hey everyone. I'm Annie Lou. I'm the newest to the team. I'm just a few months in, so also be nice to me. This is my first live stream. I'm working with Gus now. We are setting up a new team that we'll talk a little bit about today, which is around building on the existing beautiful community that we have to bring you more into our products and get your feedback and all of that good stuff. So yeah, excited to be here.
Heck yeah. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and kind of get started with some questions. Again, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in chat. Chat, I'm gonna give you the full screen of everybody. So let me go ahead and let's just flip this over to right here. Look at the whole team, everybody's here. All right, so let's chat a little bit about Adobe Live. I think there are people here who maybe haven't tuned into Adobe Live before, don't know where it came from, have kind of just joined recently. And I think maybe Gus, Claire, Paco, what's the history of Adobe Live? Where have we been?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm going to let Gus answer that because he was there at the very beginning.
The very
I'm
beginning.
ancient.
I will jump in when I join the team, but Gus, as you all may know, is one of the few OG people that was there from the very start. And gosh, Gus, what was
Thanks,
it?
Paco.
Like 2015, 2016?
Oh, back in my day. Actually, I'm curious. I want to know if there's anyone in the chat. Actually, I think there are folks in the chat that recall when we started live streaming. And maybe we can just give it a second. I know it takes a second to percolate, but if you were around in the Twitch days, does anybody know when we started live streaming?
Oh yeah, any OGs in the house?
see.
I wasn't even around in the original days. I had no idea that it existed till 2000, probably 2018.
Okay, yeah. Well, you were early on, but yeah, we started before that.
You did. I joined the
Let's see.
team in 2018, I think. If I had to guess, and I don't know if I'm going to be right, but I think we started either 2015 or 14. But I'm
Nice.
curious to know what the chat thinks.
Yes, and we have
Yeah,
some
me
of our
too.
original Twitch streamers here. Cody Bear is here, who still streams with us with a community show. And we've got some of our
Wade, I saw
regulars here.
Wade.
Yes, Wade
was in the
Acuff,
chat.
also one of our streamers here on Adobe Live. Richard Wells is guessing 2006. Might be a
I'm going to
gosh.
say no. I don't know if live streaming was available. I mean, it was, but I don't think to the prosumers, and it was easily as accessible in 2006.
right.
but-
And
I think
Wade
it
is
was called
saying
Justin TV.
late nights, great nights. Yes, 2016, a good guess.
That's a good guess. Okay, so we started live streaming towards the end of 2015.
All right,
We
close enough.
launched live streaming on Twitch, and at the time, many of you may not know this. Some of you might remember Twitch didn't have creative categories or sections. It was just strictly for video gaming. And in fact, I think some people were even getting booted off the platform for not streaming video games specifically.
Yep.
And so we partnered with Twitch to launch the creative section, which was inclusive of all things creativity, design, and art. And then we started live streaming basically at max in 2015, and then began a wild saga of live streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for about a year, the better part of a year. And Wade and Cody and many of the folks in chat were both streamers and moderators and really helped out immensely to make sure that project got up off the ground. And we had a lot of really cool learnings around what is live streaming, what do people want to watch, how do we build community around it. At the time, there just really wasn't a lot of knowledge. So it was big time exploration, innovation, experimentation space for us.
That's dope. So we grew over the years, kept doing Twitch, eventually came onto YouTube, added things in like our daily our creative challenges. And now we have some more community shows. But a couple years ago, we all know COVID happened. And I think Paco and Claire, where are you guys right now? Let's set some context here.
Yeah, so we're actually in the studio. We're in the studio that we used to actually film our shows for a long time before COVID hit. So as you can see, we're in a giant green void because this is a natural, I mean, honestly, like probably 20, 30-foot wall. It's insane how big it is. But we are here where we actually used to film live productions. We used to fly in the guests and film in the studio. So we're here right now because Adobe Max is next week. So there's a lot of prep going on, a lot of gear being brought from the studio to where we'll be live streaming. So that's why me and Claire are actually in person. This
Yes.
rarely happens. This is honestly the second time that Claire and I have ever met. So.
Yeah.
It's weird. So we used to record in studio, and then COVID happened. We had to go all remote. And we set up streamers. We started having people come in like this from all kinds of different locations. And this is kind of a question for anybody. As we were working during that COVID time and it was insane and we were trying to like get in guests, do you think that like opened up new opportunities for us, or kind of what was the dynamic once we realized that like anyone anywhere can now be a part of Adobe Live?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, I think being able to stream remotely, I think has opened up the doors for a ton of people that can come on our show, right? You know, with the studio, there was sort of this budgetary constraint that we had where we could only bring in people, you know, either that are in the United States, and then it started being California, because, you know, it turns out it's expensive to fly people in every week. So I'll say being able to be remote kind of just totally nixes that. And I would say some streamers actually prefer it because they're able to just dial in and design from the comfort of their own home. You know, at the studio, a lot of people would have to bring in their laptop and then design from a laptop. But let's be real here. If we're creatives here, most of the time we're working with like 2-3 monitors. So,
Yep.
you know, there definitely are pros and cons that come from the remote live streaming productions. And I think one of the big ones is that we have this international reach now. So we can bring people from all over the world. You know, we've been having a lot of people from the UK. We have a streamer from Nigeria that is now a regular host on some of our segments. So it's become a lot more inclusive. I mean, it's always been inclusive, but now our extension and our reach has become even more. So yeah, it's been great to be able to interact with people from all over the world. And I always say one of the best parts of my job is I get to meet new creatives every single week, right? Because we have the tech calls.
Yep.
So, I'm not even just meeting people that are from the United States. I'm meeting people from all over the world. So
Yep, and that's a great benefit of Adobe Live, that you're getting exposed to artists that like you would have never met before, right? That are somewhere that isn't like, oh yeah, we'll toss them in the studio and bring them in. It's like, cool. It's 3:00 in the morning for them. They're broadcasting from the Philippines, and like it's this person who may not have been able to get here to get in studio that we can now feature everybody. And we see Nick Longo in chat. Hi Nick. Nick and I have a show a little bit later today, but Nick and I have only met twice in person. And we've been doing office hours for 2.5 years now, every Friday. And so we're able to just maintain and grow this community without having to be in person, right? Some benefits of something quite unexpected. So let me open this up.
Doubling down on what Paco said, I think like that kind of the accessibility component for Adobe Live really has been amazing to see, because I remember in the early days, especially when it was all studio, like outside of budgetary concerns, there were a lot of people we wanted to work with that just basically said, yeah, that sounds awesome, but like I can't like leave my studio for a week. Like got a bunch of stuff going on, and I can't just like fly to San Francisco and like stay in a hotel and live stream all day. And so, as soon as it was like, oh, actually all you have to do is download Zoom and like set aside a couple hours and prep for it, I think it really opened the door for a lot of people to be able to say, yeah, that sounds like something that would be interesting to me.
Yep, absolutely. So as we've grown these communities, right, we've made a bunch of Discords, places for you to connect. We have Discords for Photoshop, Illustrator, video, Lightroom, career advancement, if you want to work with your creative careers. But Annie, question for you. Outside of this kind of live streaming zone, we are a general community team, and we help to build community, help people find their communities. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do with communities? Because it's a little niche, and I think people may not know.
Yeah, totally. And it's niche, and our team is really new. Gus and I mean, even our name, we've been deciding between insider communities, advisory circles, like wizards of creativity, bouncing around.
I'm partial to that one.
Yes, wizards.
Essentially what we are looking to do is tap into our existing vibrant community and bring you guys in these smaller circles, like VIP groups that have direct access to Adobe's product teams. And the goal is to really elevate the voice of our community and understand that what our customers say, that your feedback needs to be part of how we develop our products. And we want to have you every step of the way so that we're co-creating the future of Adobe products with everyone out there. So
Cool. Sorry, I was cutting you off there. I was going to say it's great because Adobe Live has kind of existed as a show that you watch, and we're really working to make it into this community, like this broad community, and there's so many different opportunities for you to find, to get involved. We're expanding to new platforms. And Annie, if people want to find more information, get involved, is there a way for them to do that? Is it something that we're kind of just pulling people in? How do you get into one of these smaller communities that we're starting to build?
Absolutely, there is. We have a survey. Gus was thumbs upping it. I don't know if you want to pop it in the chat or something, but if you're interested, sign up there. Perfect. And then we'll have you and we'll reach out to you for opportunities. So it would be fun to get involved. I think there's perks like early access to betas and getting connected with other creatives with similar interests and all of that. So
Yep, absolutely.
Yes,
and so
stay tuned.
That link is in there for you to get involved. If you have suggestions of ways that you'd like to get involved, requests of communities you'd like to see happen with the Adobe Live community, go ahead, drop it in chat. Or if you're watching on YouTube, hi YouTube, hello replay, drop it in the comments. Let us know down in the comments what you want to see from Adobe Live, because we're thinking into next year. We're trying to reinvent, trying to make better communities and better ways for you to get connected. So let us know down in the comments. We'll check them out, we'll read them, and try to make those augmentations as we continue. All right, so question for Claire. Here we go. We're bouncing around back to Adobe Live. We talked about how we have a worldwide audience. We can bring anyone on. What are you looking for in someone that we bring onto Adobe Live? I think there are viewers that maybe have aspiration to come on, or like would be nervous, or like, how do I get on Adobe Live? What is the way that we can get on Adobe Live, feature the community? What are we looking for in guests?
Definitely. I mean, number one is just someone who loves the apps and just really hones in on their skills. Like they don't even have to be a pro, just loves to learn and wants to work in the apps. Number two is someone that is already engaged with the community. You don't necessarily have to be like on Behance or anything, but just putting out your work, showing the world that I am creating these things, and I love to create, whether it's graphic design, illustration, video, it's, you know, across all of the categories. And then number three, want to talk about your process and inspire other people to work in the apps, to create, to take that next step, and really just start putting your heart and your mind out there, and you know, be a creative.
Yep. And we have made a change in kind of where we live and where we exist as Adobe Live lately. Claire, what are some of the platforms that have been updated or are newer for our audience to get connected?
Yeah, so we are now on our own channel, Adobe Live YouTube. And so please go and subscribe for Adobe Live. We are just, it's our own space, so we get to do what we want, basically.
Whatever we want, there's no rules.
Yeah, and we're not restricted to, what other people are doing to the channel. So it's a really great learning space. If you want to have a voice in what we're doing, go there, get involved on the community tab.
Let me show the community tab, because I don't think that a lot of people know that this exists on YouTube. So if you're on the homepage of the Adobe Live channel, you can click on community here, and there are great updates to, if you subscribe, you can get polls, you can get updates, new shows that are coming, everything that you need to know that's kind of expanded on Adobe Live. And as we start to build out more communities and more platforms, that community tab is going to be your key to learning more about the Adobe Live community. And Gus, real quick, sorry, Claire, I'll let you get back. Gus, can you just point up for me real quick? Just like there. Yeah. Okay. Everyone click where Gus's finger is. If you hover over, there'll be a title that will take you directly to the YouTube channel, so you can subscribe right there. Thank you, Gus. Great. Wow. Fantastic.
Got I boxed it in.
And yes, it is perfect. Claire, one more platform that we have just started coming into. Do you want to talk about our Twitch a little bit? It's the return, I guess. Gus, you can talk about this too, and maybe Paco as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Twitch channel, we are starting to do express streams, and Andrew, you've been doing some like late night random graphic design streams. It's kind of like a little bit more loosey-goosey than our normal Adobe Live stuff during the day. A lot of great conversations, and it's a little bit more, I would say, improvisational and fluid, with rather than having a set plan. So you can really talk to the hosts and stuff during that time, and we're hoping to expand it and really just kind of grow the Twitch channel again. And I mean, I can't talk about what it was before, because I joined in October 2020, so well in pandemic, and when we weren't doing Twitch. But yeah, we're excited to relaunch it. And then another thing I wanted to talk about was Discord. We are across Discord. We do these shows called Pro Tips, where we have after parties on certain streams, and you can talk to the host directly, and you can talk on voice chat and stuff. It's a really cool addition to our live streams, so definitely check those out as well.
Yep, it's a great opportunity for you to learn something, which I think we have one coming up later today.
Yes.
Maybe? Yes. There is one later today. So you can tune in for the show, watch what we're working on, and then hop into Discord, ask real-time questions, get feedback, and connect with the community immediately following that show, which is really cool. And I did see a question come through from chat, so let's go ahead. And yes, everyone, there was some Andrew-ception happening. I was showing you the Twitch and how chaotic it can be and how fun and relaxed. We try to have a different vibe over there because Twitch is chaotic and relaxed. So a question from Misty. Is there more content on YouTube and less on Behance, or programming still on Behance? It still lives in both places, but there is bonus content, I feel on YouTube. Like we talked about in that community tab, there's a ton of bonus content here, and there also are playlists. There's some curated playlists in here if you want to learn the basics for some of the Creative Cloud apps, or there's a beginners playlist, all kinds of good playlists for you to get connected. So there's bonus content on YouTube, and of course bonus content over on Twitch that doesn't live anywhere on Behance. It doesn't exist on Behance, it's just on Twitch. It's the good stuff. All right, let's continue on. We got about 5 minutes left, and so I want to ask, do any of you have a favorite show or memory that you can think of that maybe people can look up, check out on the Adobe Live channel, or from Adobe Live in the past, or just a fun memory?
I've got one, and it jumps to mind every time. And Paco probably remembers this because it was in the studio. We had an Adobe designer on from, at the time, was on the Spark team, Christina Cox, and I'm sure this replay is still out there somewhere. But at the end of, I think it was her first day, her first stream, I was in the studio, like managing chat and kind of doing some things, working on some things in the background. And Paco was running the production. And I think it was like right towards the end of the stream, she started to wrap up a little bit too early. Like we had maybe 2 minutes left or 3 minutes left. And she started to say like, hey, thanks for joining us. You know, here are all the things that you should know about before we wrap up. And then I think like one of us flagged her like, hey, we have like a minute left. Like, can you keep it rolling? And she just like put her hand over her heart and started singing the Australian national anthem. Like super awkwardly. And we were just, there was just something about it. I remember Paco and I were just rolling on the floor laughing. So
that's hilarious.
If somebody can find that, I would love to watch the replay of that.
My favorite, go ahead.
That
go ahead,
one was
Marco.
a classic. Yeah, it's just, you know, I mean, I think, you know, you think about things that happen when you're like, what do I do? And then her first instinct was just to put her hand like over her heart and start singing the Australian national anthem. And I was running production during that. And I was, you know, for a second, I was like, this is happening. And, you know, I kind of like didn't cut it immediately because I'm like, we need to keep seeing this. And then I cut it. It was amazing. It was a really funny one.
That's fantastic. I was hosting a stream once. This is probably my favorite memory. And I was like super tired. Like if you're streaming a lot, you get tired on a 2-hour stream. And I usually like lean off camera if I have to like yawn or sneeze. And so I had to yawn and I leaned off camera to yawn. And the guest looks at me and goes, did you just yawn? And I had to cover and be like, oh, sorry, a little cough came in. It happens. It happens sometimes. You all get some big nasty yawns.
I sent you a picture that was one of my favorite moments that we did.
All right, let me pull this up real quick.
I sent it to you on Slack. Maybe you can just flash it real quick, but it was a fun little Easter egg that Gus and I did, and we piloted it. We piloted this segment thinking that it was going to be something that we do more often, but then the pandemic hit and then it never happened. So the people that tuned in, this was one of the only few times that Gus and I have ever done this segment together, and there it is. Yeah.
Premium content.
Premium. Yeah. The wigs, Gus's face, my face. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's amazing, but that was a really fun moment that we did.
That's fantastic.
Paco and I had a conversation at the time, like, should we come up with alter egos, like have different names and like really double down on the character? We were like, actually, Gus and Paco already sound like character names, so we'll just stick with our own names.
All right, so coming up, we got a couple minutes left. What is coming next for Adobe Live? I think, Claire, you have a pretty good vision on this, and Annie too, of building out these new communities. What is coming next in the next couple minutes that maybe people can stay tuned for or look forward to, including Adobe Max next week? What's on the horizon, Claire?
Yeah, certainly. So first off, we're going to be live in person at Max next week. It's really exciting. In fact, like our team is going to be all in the same place for the first time ever. So we're really excited about that and, you know, meeting everyone new there. And then following that, you know, new stuff, we're going to continue our DCCs, but we have, if you haven't already seen, we are doing boot camps, which is a completely new thing. And it's very similar to DCCs, but instead of being restricted to an app, you know, it's like a workflow or a different app that is not Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere. And then also we have more advanced streams called Pro Tips. And we also have our community streams where we bring on hosts who have been with us for a long time, have been regulars. They go from starting off as a guest, just coming on as a guest and then continuing on to be a host, and then eventually hosting their own segments, whether it's boot camps, DCCs, or their own shows. So we're going to start adding more of those.
Yes, more community. And for those of you, I know that there's a lot of designers and creatives that watch that are fans of Hoodspa design. We have the Hoods coming on for a boot camp, doing typography boot camp in just a few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. And Annie, let's talk about communities, micro communities a little bit. What are they? What's coming? How can people get involved?
Yes, so definitely sign up via the survey. Gus, pop that in the chat again for us, please. We're going to be at Max as well. If any of y'all are there, come talk to us at the Adobe Live booth. We would love to hear what you're up to, so that we can get to know like what would be the right opportunities for you. And yeah, just we're cooking up all kinds of stuff still, you know, in the works. But yeah, Gus, anything else?
No, I think you hit all the bases. We're hoping, I mean, we'll see how this thing evolves, but we're hoping to kind of plug people into different opportunities that make sense for your background and skill set, interests. But at the same time, as we start to meet people and build out the program, there's also a need to kind of keep people involved in that community also as like a sort of part of, but maybe a different component of the holistic Adobe community. And so we'd love to hear from you as things go, like what sounds interesting, how do you want to engage with us, how can we make it a little bit more fun for you? So
yeah, let us know.
We want to build it with everybody.
We're about to get cut off in classic Adobe Live fashion. We'll see you all on Adobe Live and hopefully in person at Max. Bye.
All right, tune in to Max. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.